Welcome to Regal Roundtable, the talk show that discusses hot topics and current events.
I don't want to piggyback because I don't believe in eating pork.
Anytime something comes up, if it's always a race issue, then it does seem like it's a little bit overplayed.
I was always outspoken. I was like, what the hell does that have to do with me?
Women go to their girlfriends because they want to be validated.
How much
Welcome back to Regal Roundtable. We're talking about child molestation by college coaches throughout this country. And Robert, I want to direct this next question to you. How much blame should American culture place on the allegations going on at Penn State and Syracuse, seeing that we put so much power into football coaches and players and stuff like that, where they can abuse that power at times?
I think some of the blame has to go to that. We seem to put athletes, coaches on this pedestal of not being able to do so, not being able to do any wrong, or simply judging them off how they perform on the field or their wins and loss record. So I think that definitely does play a major role, but then I also think that we have to look into ourselves and the ethical nature behind what it is that we are doing. We have to realize that what's done in the dark once again comes to the light, and that if we are unethical, that will come out. And wins and losses are one small little piece of the overall equation.
Yeah,
we have to leave a legacy behind.
I want to go to you with this question. Now we see, and I'm glad we do see this. We see more and more young boys coming out, whether it's Catholic priests, whether it's football coaches. What type of impact do you think that will have on us going forward in totally preventing child molestation from happening, getting rid of that stigma? It seems like we might be getting rid of that stigma. Excuse me. So what type of effect do you think that will have going forward?
I think it would have a very positive effect. So I think that for the most part, we're in a state of constantly evolving, as he and I discussed earlier. And because of that evolution, those things that may have been taboo, like I say, forbidden discussion, the conversation that's sweeping under the rug, are now things that we're feeling more and more comfortable with, what we're talking about. And society as a whole always, again, periodically at some stage goes through some type of transition where things that were once, not permitted are now acceptable. Yeah. It's kind of almost being like desensitized or being just being conditioned to think differently. So I think that as more young boys begin to think differently about, just because I come out and speak on this doesn't make me less than a person, doesn't make me less than a young man, or it doesn't hinder my ability to become a grown, functioning, normal man, then I think that it definitely will play a big role later on down the line with preventing it.
I know you're a journalist, Robert, but I'm going to ask you to play psychologist for a little while. What type of long-term effects do you think that actually has on a young boy, and can they grow up to be positive young men and functioning young men? How difficult do you think it would be, though?
I could only imagine how difficult that would be. I would think that it would totally kind of mess you up psychologically. Just to have to admit that somebody has thrown themselves on you or taken your boyhood or manhood away from you, in a sense, I'm sure has to be a very challenging situation. I think it's up to parents to speak with their kids, though, to let them know that if this particular type of thing is happening, that it is something that they must speak up about. They have to let people know that this type of thing is happening. But I could only imagine how stressful and tormenting of a situation that would have to be to have to live with that, and how it could totally mess you up for the rest of your life if you're not able to get help after something like this has taken place.
All right, Edward, I want to piggyback on something that Robert said about young men stepping up. What can we do to make it easier for parents to talk openly about sexual things with their child, so this type of things can be prevented, or if it happens, they can take proper action?
Well, firstly, I want to actually piggyback off of what Robert said, the previous comment, and say that I agree that it's definitely hard to overcome, but we do have a lot of success stories. If I'm not mistaken, people like Tyler Perry specifically,
Donnie
McClurkin. I think it's all about having the right support base and being able to tap into the right inner power, whatever you believe in, whether God or whatever it may be. However you define that power, you have to be able to tap into something to get that healing and nurturing. And I believe that same, whatever you tap into is the same thing that parents have to tap into to have the strength to be able to deal with situations. Because some situations are just uncomfortable. Some people run from situations, and they don't understand that you can't, I mean, you run, but in reality, you're running from yourself. And so until it's dealt with, it's going to be there.
Welcome back to Regal Roundtable, and I want to direct this last question to Robert first. If, for instance, this type of situation at Penn State or Syracuse happened to the late Eddie Robinson at Grambling or the late Clarence Big House Gaines, basketball coach at Winston-Salem State University, how do you think Black America would have responded if it happened under their watch? Not they did it, but it happened under their watch. Would they have called for their ouster? Why or why not?
I would like to hope that any university would have gotten rid of any head coach, regardless of how many wins they may have had or how prestigious the school would have been. I think Black America definitely would have been up in arms because a lot of events that happen, we feel like it can't happen in our community. You see a lot of the school shootings and things along those lines, and we feel as if it's not going to happen to us. So I think that if this would have been in a Black university setting, I would like to think that the administration would have done their just cause in getting rid of whoever it would have been that would have had the violations levied against them if they would have been found in the truth.
And Edward, how do you think that Black America would have responded if this would have happened under Eddie Robinson's watch or Clarence Big House Gaines' watch?
Honestly, I think that I believe that we are like very unforgiving when it comes to how we judge each other. I think the only people that we really let make it are preachers. So for the most part, I believe that the outcry would have been extreme. It would have been allowed. We'd have been very vocal in trying to oust and get rid of that situation, and I guess kind of trying to put an end to the situation in a way that would have been, like I say, how we judge each other is kind of harsher than we judge other races. So I just see it as being, like I said, a situation that would have been pretty extreme in terms of, it definitely would have been a loud outcry.
I want to thank my guests for joining me on the Regal Roundtable again, Mr. Robert Anderson and Mr. Edward Davis. I want to thank the people of Grooves of Houston for opening their doors for us. Visit them at 2300 Pierce Street or visit them at HoustonGrooves.com. Visit RegalMag.com, the preeminent online magazine for African American men. Follow us on Twitter at Regal Media. Like us on Facebook under Regal Media Group. And once again, I would like to urge all men to step up to the throne and reclaim your royalty. The Regal Roundtable, the talk show that discusses hot topics and current events from a male perspective. I'm your host, Todd A. Smith. Today's topic is the Battle of the Sexes, once again, our popular series. And today we'll be talking about friendship interference. Can friends ruin a relationship? I'm pleased to announce my guest panelists today. To my immediate left, we have playwright Renee Ravon. To my immediate right, we have local business owner Shira Granderson. And to my far right, we have actor Stephen Paul. And I'm going to throw the first question out to Renee. Renee, why do you think girls ask their girlfriends who don't have a man or can't get a man or haven't been in a relationship for a while for relationship advice? Where does that come from?
Okay, well, first off, I don't think a woman just can't get a man. That's a stereotype boyfriends put on their girlfriend's friends so they won't go to them for advice. Maybe they just choose to not be in a relationship. But I think women go to their girlfriends because they want to be validated. And they just want somebody to tell them that they're right in what happened in the argument, and that's it. Co-sign.
So Stephen, I'm glad y'all agree. I want to ask you, I mean, a lot of times men might not go to their boys for advice when it comes to getting in a relationship, but what type of influence do friends play when it comes to a guy really settling down and getting married and things of that nature? Can a friend kind of negatively dissuade them?
Well, dealing with men, it's different because men can't go to other men and be like, man, I want to tell you about my girl. You know, she making me feel like, man, we can't do that. Like, the stereotypical day for a man is to go to his boy house, y'all play the game, y'all play Xbox 360, or y'all watch the game, y'all talk about sports. Y'all do not bring up emotions. And when you bring up emotions, it's like, it takes it to a whole nother level. And then you always have that one friend like, dude, shut up, kill yourself. It's not supposed to be talking about this. It's a no emotion zone.
I have a question for you.
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
if you all can't talk about relationships, why is it that you can talk about mistresses and the side girls?
Because that's a different element. That's a far different. That's a different page. We're in a different book because emotions and loves and hugs, all the stuff is over here, and having sex and talking about women's booties and stuff like that. That's in a different book. We can do that. That's exciting. Emotions are not like they're like Debbie Downers.
But how much, Stephen? What type of role do you think insecurities play in you not talking about your main girl with your boys? 'Cause I know people that won't bring their boys or their family members around their girl for fear that when they turn their back, one of their boys might try to holler. But you might talk about that mistress. So what type of difference does it play when it's your girl versus a girl on the side?
Okay, well, when you have a girl on the side, it's cool. You can talk about her all day. But when it's your gal, you know your partners, you know your friends, you know your dudes. So I've never been in a situation. I'll bring you around whomever. But I have some partners that will not bring their girls around me because they know me.
Yeah.
It's cool. Yeah. I'm not mad, but at the end of the day, I respect it because they already know you turn your back too long. So it happened. Get over it.
I'm gonna go to Shira with this next question. We talked about, talking about your girl around your boys and stuff like that. But girls seem to talk about their man all the time with their girlfriends. Do you kind of fear that? I mean, if you're talking positively about your husband and what he does for you, does that create some type of fear that your girls might want to experience that as well?
Well, most of the time, if I'm talking to my husband, to my girlfriends, it's a girlfriend, and I trust them. So I don't trust the fact that oh, she might go talk to my husband behind my back, and I trust him enough to know, he won't do that. Certain things you don't talk about, though. I mean, certain things that you say, you don't say. Everybody doesn't know everything that goes on in your relationship. So it's kind of up to that individual to kind of guard what they say and what they don't say.
But I personally know females that tell me that if their girlfriend's boyfriend has a mole on a certain part of their body, they know about it, this, that, and other. So a lot of girls are not like you, but a lot of girls will tell every detail, and that can kind of ruin, in my opinion, that ruins a relationship.
That can.
All right. So
just to co-sign on that, I'm not gonna lie, I have good girlfriends I would not trust around my boyfriend. Like, I know them. They're good friends, and I've just seen some things that they've done. Love them to death. My grandmother used to always say, don't let nobody in your house and around your man for too long because you never know what they'll do.
Well, are they really friends at that point?
Thank you. I was going to bring that point. Is that a real friend?
Yeah, well, see, I have not let them be around them too long, but I've seen what they've done to other girlfriends. So, yeah.
I'm going to throw this out to the whole panel. Okay, we're talking about negative advice and maybe your boy's telling you don't settle down, or maybe your girl's telling you that dude ain't no good, or this, that, and other. What type of role does jealousy play in some of that negative advice? Do you think that they might see something positive in your significant other? They might really be trying to get at?
Yeah, that's true.
Especially with women, too, because women have that jealousy bone. Just something about women. When they don't like to see the next woman do better than them.
Yeah.
So when they have they don't have a relationship, it's hard to accept their friend, is in love, and it's hard for women.
But my question is why, if you know that that's a characteristic of women, why do girls rely so much on their girl? I'm not saying all girls. I'm talking about some personal experience that if you dating one girl, you dating their whole little posse.
Right. I think they just love having waiting to exhale moments.
Yeah.
I think so. I think they just like to sit at the round table and drink Mai Tais and talk about
and complain.
everything. They complain all day.
Yeah.
I think that's what's called therapy for you.
Yeah.
Now, let me get it out. Let me cry. Woosah.
Yeah. I mean, but you could possibly be messing up a good thing. I mean, you sitting there.
Right.
I think misery loves company. You know what I mean? If I'm not happy, I'm not that happy that somebody else is happy. I know girls who aren't that happy when their family members get married. They sitting in the wedding trying to cause drama. You know what I mean? Because they got beat to the altar. I mean, that's real talk. I mean, but those are my girls. You got to, you know what I mean? Right. So and stuff like that. I think it's just a bad thing to rely on that information. But I'm gonna throw this question to Stephen. We talk about that friendship, and I think it's good to have good friends and stuff like that, have good platonic friends. When do you get too old? When does a girl get too old or a guy get too old to be hanging out with their girlfriends or their boys, and they need to come home and just be satisfied with having a significant other?
See, it's two different leagues.
Yeah.
Because women can hang out, see, they about a breath away from death. They can do that all their life. Because they have waiting to exhale moments. The guys, on the other hand, they have up until at least 30, 35. You need to go and come to the house. You shouldn't be in the club.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be doing all the extra stuff. You should go to the grocery store, pick up the kids, mow the grass, stuff like that. Everything that you do, your girl should be involved in. So if you go play basketball, okay, you play basketball at 9 o'clock. It's what, 10:30? You that old. You
Wait,
should be
you're
running anything.
saying the girlfriend is telling him this, or is this something he's made up on his own?
No, men don't think this way because
Oh.
that's why we still have sugar daddies and stuff like that. We would try to do it forever, but
I
women are telling us at the age of 35 we should hang it up, we should be in the house, we should be chilling, we shouldn't be doing those things.
Find the right woman, because I'm not like that.
Yeah, I object to that. It depends on
Yeah.
what you're doing. I mean, you're not gonna be, if you're 35, 40, you are playing PlayStation 3 till 4 o'clock in the morning, then that's a problem. But if you're doing something productive, then it's something different. You on a hunting trip with your friends, something like that. Understandable, but you know, you out at the bar at 4 o'clock in the morning every weekend, then that's that's
Right.
a certain age cutoff or limitation. But I mean,
Okay, so I can't hang out at the club 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, but I can go on a hunting trip with my boys.
What are y'all hunting?
There's no
Exactly. I don't know.
Yeah, well, see, that's why.
Okay.
She won't know either.
Hello. I'm just saying.
So what type of, Shara, I'm going to go to you with this next question. What type of role do you think peer pressure plays when the woman relies on her friends for too much advice? Do you think that they are scared to distance themselves from their crew? They're the first one to get married and this, that, and the other?
well, some cases, yeah, because a lot of times, I've only been married a short period of time, and single women can't give you the same advice that a married woman can give. It's two totally different worlds.
I don't
being
think
there.
married women give the good advice either. I think some married women are bitter. So if
But
you're
I would-
doing good,
But I would rather, my thing is, and I've had this situation personally, I don't understand, like the first question I asked Renee, I don't understand getting advice from somebody who's not in a relationship or not married or
Right.
can't or divorced three and four times. But I know females that go
that's
get
the people that get the
relationship
best
advice.
advice.
I
Man,
don't think so,
how to
man.
do this.
If you've been married 20 years, then we could talk. You know what I mean? Then I can listen to you.
Experience is the best teacher.
That's true too.
Yeah.
That's true
So,
too.
I mean, you can say, that's what I did. That's a boy, don't do what I did, you know.
Yeah.
That's a boy that. So, I mean, it just depends.
It's oranges and apples. It goes both ways because I get some great advice. I'm not doing it. I get great advice.
That's what you
But
think.
maybe relationship advice, but when I go and get married, I don't know if I want to be taking marriage advice from somebody who hasn't been married
The thing about it though is different because women can go and ask for that marriage advice. So I think I want to be with him and stuff like that. And women can give those type of answers, but men can't. Men can't give that type of advice. Like if I come over like, man, I think I want to marry. All right, dude. Well, if you love her, then do it, then, bro. Like that. Like that's it.
Yeah.
It's not complex. It's nothing. No substance behind it. So it's different for us.
All right, this is interesting. Welcome back to Regal Roundtable, and I want to direct this next question to Stephen. Stephen, how should a man handle a relationship if their girlfriend is being too heavily influenced by her friends?
That's a sticky situation because it's not like you can come to your girl and be like, look, you gotta stop hanging out with them because that's tension and she has nobody to talk to, and then I guess at that point a lot of things can happen with that. So it's real delicate. You have to really go about it in a strategic manner, and you have to think about what you want to do about that, because if you tell her to stop talking to her friends, that's a bad thing. But if she continues to talk to her friends, it's a bad thing. So it's kind of like, oh, man, I don't know. That's a hard question. I don't know.
Renee, how should a woman handle that? If I'm spending too much time with my boys, or I'm playing the PlayStation to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, my bad, dog. But if I'm playing at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, or this, that, and the other with my boys, and watching football games, how would you handle that if your man did that?
Tell the truth, shame it down.
Okay. Well, at first, I would communicate. Simply talking to him, I'm a communicator. Not gonna lie, after so long, it's gonna turn into a big problem. Arguing if he doesn't stop. And yeah, it's just not gonna be a good thing. And then I guess what'll happen is he'll throw in my face that I hang out with my friends and now we have a problem. So something that I've learned, I only go to one friend. And that friend, I know, I'm serious.
So sneaky.
No. But and you know what? My fiance knows about it,
Yeah.
and it's actually a guy. It's not even a woman. It's a good guy friend of mine.
Hey, I don't feel about that. What?
What?
Yeah, I got a problem with
We're
that.
strictly friends.
Nah, I bet you
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
In his mind, it's
No,
not,
he
but in
that's
your head,
that's
it
the
is.
plan. I've done that before.
No.
I've done the friendship waiting to do messed up.
No, I'm saying
You
we've been
damn
friends
right.
for
It
6
worked the whole
years.
time.
Yeah.
Hope he
Yeah.
messed up
6
today.
years. There are good guys out there.
There are.
You know.
But they just rarely find. You can't find them. That's all.
Right here, right here. Hey, you know what I mean? Hey, Shah, I want to go to you with this next question. When, if ever, should somebody's friend or family members get involved in another person's relationship? Is that ever okay?
mamas.
Well, I mean, you have
Your
your
mama can cause problems.
you have your limits. I mean, it's just certain things that you don't tell your family because you're gonna forget. It's easy for you to give your significant other versus your family. You're gonna forgive them tomorrow and be okay. Your mom, she's still gonna be mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can't come here and run to your mom and your family certain things that go on between your relationship because it's not good.
And my history with that, sorry mama, but your mama will hold on to stuff even if y'all made up.
Yeah.
And she's still holding on to stuff about 6 months ago.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't like that person. Like, I forgot what I told you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all, that's my thing. I mean, friendships a little differently. You know what I mean? But your family, if somebody does your family wrong or you perceive it to be wrong,
You're mad.
it could always cause problems. I know people have been mad 20 years over what somebody's
Yeah.
did to their child. You know what I mean?
At the family fish fry.
Yeah, not saying it's
Shut
my,
it
not
down.
saying, not saying it's my
Shut it
family
down.
in particular, you know, but yeah, it kind of is.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, Steve, I want to go to you with this next question. I know a lot of guys, you know what I mean, if you have your set group of friends, your boys, you know what I mean, you might not want somebody coming in and disrupting that. So what type of role do you think, losing friendships play when somebody doesn't want you to get married? You know what I mean? Do you think that can play a role in your boys not, kind of discouraging you to take that next step?
I'm gonna tell you a secret. It happens a lot, man, but we won't come out and say that.
Yeah.
If it's like 5 of us, we done all grew up together, we've been hanging out, and one of us decides to get married, you're messing up the game. We go out every weekend, we mess with the chicks, we go drinking, all that. So when one of us decides to get married, it's like, dang, it's one less. We all internally hurting, but we will not say that out loud. We sit back and be like, dang. And so we'll have that one friend that will be like, dude, you don't want to marry her no way, man. I heard she slept with my cousin. We just put it out there, and then that's it. We ain't gonna say it again, but it bothers us. I mean, we may not know how to come out and talk about it. Maybe later on, after you got married, like, yeah, man, I ain't like that at first, but this is a nice wedding and all, so y'all.
Are they jealous, like you all were saying about women?
See, I don't think
I don't
men
think it's a
harbor
jealous
that
get jealous,
same
but I think,
emotion.
but I think, you know what I mean. If this is your crew, you know
Right,
what I mean,
right.
and you breaking up the crew,
It's a
and that person might not be ready to get married. He might feel a little left out. All my boys are married, so I might not see you. I might hang out with you maybe once, twice a year. So you know what I mean. Not saying that I was upset that you did not do your thing, but if somebody gets married to have kids, you see that person less and less and less. And if you're not ready for a relationship, you Friday night, Saturday night, you are playing PlayStation all night. You know what I mean? By yourself, you know what I mean? I'm playing to get somebody on the internet somewhere in China somewhere, you know what I mean? But Shar, we talked about jealousy, and Renee, I'm gonna get you to answer this because we talked about jealousy from a female perspective, but do y'all think that plays a role in sometimes girls discourage you to get married because they see somebody coming up and breaking up their little clique or whatnot?
Most definitely.
For real?
Yeah.
I promise you, I thought y'all be waiting for those type of moments. Girl, you getting married?
No.
I think
It-
girls
it's
are
on
jealous
the
if they don't
surface.
get,
Oh, okay.
On the surface, it's like, oh my God,
okay,
oh my God,
okay,
but
if you're already married, I think though, you know what I mean.
yeah.
But if I think that girls wanna. I personally know people that. I know people who got pregnant to beat somebody to the altar. I mean, just so they can get the attention. You know what I mean? Their sibling is getting married. Their younger sibling, I'm gonna go get pregnant by some random dude, and I'm gonna take the shine away. I personally know people like
Yeah,
that.
I kind of feel like the Kim Kardashian. That's what happened with Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Really?
a lot of people want attention, man. They
That's
don't
right.
they can't stand like a younger sister. But Chloe's younger
Chloe
than me.
got
I mean,
married.
so I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna go get married to some random dude for 13 seconds.
Yeah, so I can have some fame.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make a little money, stuff like that. So I'm gonna go to Shira with this next question. When is it good to get advice from a friend, or when should you get outside influence, and who should you go to get this outside influence in a relationship?
A spiritual counselor.
Say the right thing.
I mean, it's okay to talk to certain friends, but a lot of times, you want to talk to the person who's kind of on the same, level as you. Like, I don't want to go talk to my best friend is not married. I don't want to go talk to my best friend about my marital problems because, she's trying to get where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna let Renee respond, but I want to go to Stephen to piggyback on that question. Do you think it's realistic that a dude is gonna go to a spiritual counselor or any type of counselor?
Hell no.
Yeah,
There's
you
no
know what
type
I
of
mean?
world.
That don't even,
It will not happen.
Yeah.
I will go and talk to the dude I go hoop at the court with.
Yeah.
Before I go find a spiritual advisor.
I mean, because guys don't want that though. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I think counseling is a good thing in relationship. I think counseling is a good thing, period. But for a guy to say I have these types of problems, I don't think a guy would be open to that. Renee, who should a girl go to for advice in a relationship?
I think they should go to somebody that's been married or a spiritual counselor. But I'm sorry, with me in the midst of something, I'm reaching out to my best friend, which is a guy that I've told you all about.
Man, that dude right there.
Because he gives really good advice. He's been married.
But listen, he will always give great advice. That's what we do.
Yeah.
It's
But
like
he doesn't.
fishing.
But he doesn't.
It's game.
No, he
It's
tells
game.
me what I did wrong.
Look, and that's what I would do too.
Yeah, it's
I would
No.
be that guy. I would give you
I've
the
been
good-
that guy. I mean, when I tell you it
For
works.
6 years.
Yes.
Not
You know
6
how long
months.
a
I mean,
man
it
will
works.
wait?
But see, that's what I'm saying. We've been friends for 6 years.
But he's not. He'll wait. You know, he's gonna have his girls on the side.
Oh.
But if you're the one that he wants to be with,
Yes.
trust me, he's gonna call you every day.
I put you
He's
like
gonna
this.
set aside 30 minutes to
I
call
hope you get married. I mean, I hope it's the best thing in the world. I hope you stay married forever. But if ever presented an opportunity with your best friend, he will take it. He will confess feelings to you that he's had his whole life,
Yeah.
but didn't know how to tell you. And look, I wanted to tell you that I liked you for the first time, but I didn't know how to send it because you was with old boy.
Yeah.
I promise you, that's what we wait. I have a friend. He waited for 9 years for his girl, and she was in relationships. That's what happened.
Hey, God forgive me for saying this, but if somebody went down a plane tomorrow, I got girls that I'm cool with. I'm gonna be like, you need some consoling, this, that, and other. I mean, it's bad to say. I mean, so but dudes are like, I mean, not saying I wish nothing bad for nobody relationship, but you gon' I mean, I don't keep it. No dude keeps in touch with a girl just to keep in touch with a girl. You know what I mean? I don't think.
Okay, now I beg differ just a little bit
Okay.
because I do have probably 1 or 2 friends, and they're gorgeous. They're just my friends and my dudes. Like I can call them any time of the night. We can talk, you know, just running and stuff like that. Now, have it crossed my mind? Yes, it has, but I don't take it there. Now, if the opportunity presents itself, I'm a man first. It happens.
But don't you think it's better if men and women were good friends, because then that would help marriages last a lot longer. We
lot of
would
them.
have a better insight.
A lot of
into each
my
other.
married friends that are successfully married say you need to be a friend first because there's going to be a time you're not going to be intimate 24/7. You're not going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
so that friendship and that companionship needs to be there for it to be a strong relationship. Welcome back to Regal Roundtable, and I want to thank my guests again for joining me on the roundtable, Ms. Renee Ravon, to my immediate left, to my immediate right, Ms. Shira Granderson, and to my far right, Mr. Stephen Paul. I want to thank the good people of Grooves of Houston for opening up their doors for us. Visit them at HoustonGrooves.com. Visit RegalMag.com, the preeminent online magazine for African American men. Follow us on Twitter at Regal Media. Like us on Facebook under Regal Media Group. And once again, men and women, remember to step up to the throne and reclaim your royalty. Welcome to Regal Roundtable, the talk show that discusses hot topics and current events.
I don't want to piggyback because I don't believe in eating pork.
Anytime something comes up, if it's always a race issue, then it does seem like it's a little bit overplayed.
I was always outspoken. I was like, what the hell does that have to do with me?
Women go to their girlfriends because they want to be validated.
How much emphasis do you think a man should put on a woman's financial success?